Okay, and in this part of the video, this is actually the third time I've done this one because I have to explain some of the things so that you understand it when you create it. It's a lot easier for me just to do it on my own, but to show it is really kind of detailed. So if you're not familiar, you may have to watch this a couple times, or we'll see what happens. But this is the hard drive, the LaCie Rugged Mini USB 3, 5 terabyte. I'm going to back up my master archive that I use on my daily files to this, but not just once, but I'm going to back it up and back it up each incrementally. Like 1 week, I'll do one. The next week, I'm not going to overwrite it like I did on the other solid state drive. I'm going to add to this drive until this drive is full, and then I'm going to throw the oldest one away. And that way I have multiple copies in case something happens and I lost something or I threw something away and I really didn't mean to. This is where I can go back and get it. And it's going to depend on what you have, how much data you have, and all of that type of thing. Now, on this LaCie, I've already formatted it, put a password on it. It's encrypted. That's how I do all my drives, unless it's a simple thumb drive where I'm going back and forth between my printer and my computer because I scan something that you can't encrypt, but everything else I pretty much encrypt. So I don't have to worry about the data being compromised or vulnerable. So that's the starting point here. What I'm going to do is show you how to create a master file that is what you will duplicate and put your files in each time. And that one is going to be encrypted. So it's encrypted of encrypted type of thing, so that it's hopefully very secure. So what you're going to do is open up the disk utilities on your Mac. I'm only going to do this for a Mac. And you will go to File, New Image, Blank Image, and it will bring this up. And so what you need to do is know that there is a difference between this name and this name. And you can name it the same thing if you want, but one title you're going to change and one title you'll never change. And one of the, I believe it is this one, is the title that you will see on the desktop when you open the sparse bundle. And so this name you're not going to be able to change. This name is changeable. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this is the LaCie backup master file, and then we're going to call this one LaCie backup. Okay, so that's what we have: master file and LaCie backup. You can do whatever you want. You can kind of play with this and see. I'm not going to change the size right now because the size is going to default back to 100 megabits when I change some of these things down here. The first thing I'm going to do is leave it at APFS. That's what you really want to use. The encryption I'm going to change to 256-bit, and this is where I need to put a password in. This is where I'm going to stop the video, and then I'll come back after I type it in, because as we know, if you listen to my keyboard, you might be able to suss out what my password is, and we don't want that, so I'm just going to stop it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to stop the video right there because I saw a mistake as I was editing. And formatting counts. I haven't used a spinny hard drive in quite a while, years, and I had to remind myself something, that on the hard drive, the one that spins, you really need to do a different formatting than APFS. APFS is used for thumb drives, solid state drives, things that don't spin. And when you're using a formatting for a hard drive that spins, you're going to need to use macOS Extended. So That's the big difference, and it is important that you use the macOS Extended when you format the drive originally and when you create any type of sparse bundle. So I just want to correct myself on that and tell you that is the way to do it correctly for the drives that spin. It's macOS Extended. And if it is a solid state or thumb drive, it's APFS. And I'm going to put a little link in here in the sticky notes that kind of give you that information, because you may all be using all spinny drives, and I don't recommend that. I like the idea now of changing the technologies, but I just wanted to straighten that out. Thanks a lot. Okay, now that I have the password in, it's a long password, I'm going to press or select choose. Then I'm going to go down to sparse bundle disk image. And then I'm going to take this to 2 terabytes. And I'm going to then press save, and it's going to go ahead and create that. Okay, now this drive has been created. We're going to click done, and we're going to move this to the side. And we'll see that we have LaCie backup master file, sparse bundle. And sparse bundle, when you click and open this, you will see a hard drive on the desktop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quick. Go like this, and you're going to see something called LaCie Backup Master. Remember how we talked about the 2 different names? There was the first one and the second one. Maybe I'll do a screenshot so you see. You can change this name, the file itself. So when I want to do a backup, I'm not going to go through the process that we just did. I'm going to have this master file that's only 38 megs. I'm going to say duplicate, and then there we have, I'm going to rename this to the date, which is August 27th, 2023. So that is the folder, the encrypted folder that I'm going to copy everything from my solid state drive onto, and I will just keep on copying and copying and copying into different folders until this is full, and then I'll throw the others away. And what I mean by the name being able to be changed, and that last, I just stopped the video and took a quick screenshot. And what I mean is this name LaCie backup master file, that is what this file, it's really kind of a folder, but it's the file, is named. And you can change that to the correct date so you know. But when you mount it, it comes up as LaCie backup. And this is not editable. You can do it here, but when you look on your desktop, you'll see the name LaCie backup. So just know that. You're not going to see LaCie backup master file mounted on your desktop. You're going to see the name this, and I will show you that right now. So I will double click on this. I change the name. It's going to ask me for the backup password, and I'm going to stop the video, and then I'll be right back. Put in the password. Again, like I've said in the past, remember password and keychain. I would never do that, and the reason for that is, well, now that Apple ADP is out, that's better because there is that encryption. But the other thing is, if someone does get on your desktop and they are, they get into your computer and they plug this hard drive in, If it's in your keychain, then it's just going to automatically pop up and they don't need to have a password. So I don't ever store sensitive information, passwords like this, because I just don't know if anybody's going to be able to access my computer, and that would get by everything that I'm trying to create right now. So I put the password in, I click OK. Oh, I can't click OK while I'm doing a video. I've just found this out. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to click OK, and then it will open. But this must be a safety measure that they have in place. Okay, so I pressed OK, and it was mounted. And let me show you what was mounted. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. I'm going to pull this one over. You'll see that LaCie Backup was mounted from this title because this is how it was created. So I can't get all three of them in there. But LaCie Backup, this is the one that's going to show up on your hard drive. Sorry, on your desktop as a hard drive when you mount it. So let's move that out of the way. And you'll see the other is LaCie Backup Archive, which is the drive. This drive right here contains this folder slash file slash drive. It's a drive now because if I double click on it, it's going to come up and there will be things that I can copy into it. Let's just say this. I can copy that right into it. There we have it. So that is where I'm going to copy everything from my other master archive that basically I call it my working files. I know it gets complex. I'm going to do a yellow sticky on this so you can see my structure. But when I back something up, and I'll do a backup and I'll show you that it's going to move from 31.6 to much larger. But let me move this back here, this one back here. And when you're on a Mac, you can easily do things with like, okay, here's LaCie Backup. So this one is that opened. But if I want to, next week, sometime in September, make a backup, I will first duplicate. Then I'll use this file to put my backups in. And I will keep on doing that until the drive is just about full. And then I'll take the oldest one and I will just simply move it to trash. And then you have to make sure you empty the trash. Otherwise, it's still kind of there until you force the empty. And that's how the structure is. I will copy some things over so you can see the size of this drive. So all I need to do is click here, and then I can start to copy things. And I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I just wanted to show you that this is one reason why I went to the solid state drive to solid state drive. Because right now, it's going to take between 3 and 4 hours, maybe. So it's 9 in the morning. We'll see how long it really takes. And this was getting in the way of my life with taking up so much time. But now that I see how things work, this is a different medium than the solid state drive. This is the old-fashioned platter that spins around, consumes more energy, takes much more time, but the technology has been around for a very, very long time. Because it's a different type of technology, if one has a flaw in it, hopefully this will not. But this is not as convenient because, as you can see, it's 3 hours. I will not leave the house until this is actually all copied over, and I take this drive, this LaCie, and put it into a safe or a safe place. But again, this is what is being backed up in a different medium. So I'll be back in a couple hours, maybe 4 hours, to show you the size. Yeah, you can see that this is already climbing in the size, 8.3 gigs. The size of the drive itself that's being, let's see, is let's see, how much is on there? yeah, 1.01 terabytes on the disk. So it's going to be a while and it's slow, but I'll let you know. Thanks. Buddy, remember how I said, oh, it's only going to take like 3 hours? Well, that is a lie. It took quite a bit longer. In fact, I had to wait till the next day. So what I found, and I'm remembering, is that when you use a hard drive that has a spindle, you got to know the speed of the drive itself. Sorry. And what I purchased was not necessarily what I should have purchased. I do make mistakes. I forgot to look at the spindle speed. And let me bring this over. And this drive, this drive, the copying of the 1.01, actually it's a little bit more than that because I cleaned things up. I started this on Sunday. It's Tuesday morning. And you'll also see that I have a photos folder here because I'm cleaning up everything in my life while I'm doing this. But what I found was when I purchased this particular drive, I thought, let's see. Okay, great. I remember back in the day, Apple days. Let's see. It was a good product. It is a non-Western Digital. They use a Seagate mechanism inside. They don't build their own. There's only so many hard drive manufacturers, and a lot of the companies put those main ones in. So what you need to look at is not necessarily what they easily show, and that is, you have some things here where it shows you the speeds and whether it is USB-C, USB 3. Some of these connectors just don't matter when it is a spindle. On the SSD, which this one here, it definitely matters because there's high throughput. But what you have to look for really is this magic number right here. Hard drive rotational speed. It's 5,400. I really wanted 7,200, but I didn't get it because I didn't look because I forgot. And so I'm putting that out there because I opened it. I'd have to, argue with them, and I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to use this. It's slower than I wanted, much slower than I wanted, but that's what I have. I will put this one in the list, but I'm going to look for a one that is actually a 7,200 RPM and not a 5,400. 54 is just so incredibly slow, and it is very noticeable when you do it. So with that being said, this drive is done. I am going to go on to the next video or the previous video. I'm not sure where this is going to stagger, but I will show you what I'm doing with the new solid state drive and which one that I selected. Thanks a lot.